In this video, we are going to talk about the difference between pre-made raw and DIY raw. Well, let's get started. And really quickly, guys, in the comment section below, let me know whether you are currently feeding pre-made, you're currently feeding DIY, or you're not feeding either because you haven't gotten started, and which one you are considering. And of course, subscribe and click the little bell icon that pops up when you do so that you don't miss out on future raw feeding videos. All right, guys, so just by the names themselves, these should be pretty self-explanatory of what they are, but let's just address it. So a pre-made raw food, right, is a food that is raw for dogs or cats that has already been made. Somebody else is making it. An example of this would be somebody like Answer's Pet Food, right? This is a pre-made raw food. Somebody has already gone through the effort of balancing it and putting all the stuff into it for you. And of course, this is much, much more convenient. It can also come with a higher cost, but it is very, very simple. You buy the food, you look at how much you're supposed to feed of it, and you're done. Now, what about DIY? Again, pretty self-explanatory, but this is do-it-yourself raw feeding. You are doing essentially what these pre-made companies like Answer's Pet Food are doing, and you are putting together all these different food items yourself to create the diet. You are doing it yourself, DIY. So why would you choose one over the other? Well, again, cost, right? Generally, unless you're getting really creative or you have really small dogs or whatever it happens to be, generally you are going to spend more money with pre-made than you are with DIY. And it's the same reason as anything else that we pay more for, which is convenience. You can buy a gallon of milk at the gas station, but it's going to cost you 3, 4, 5 times as much as if you got it at the grocery store, right? So this is the exact same concept. You are paying for the convenience that using a pre-made food gives you. Now again, cost with DIY. DIY is going to be significantly less expensive in most cases, depending on how you source your food, which is why I offer free information on getting these foods at lower costs at rawfeeding101.com/free. But generally this is going to cost less because it's not anywhere near as convenient. It comes with a lot of, getting the information yourself, taking the time week after week or month after month to put these diets together yourself. So really, what it boils down to is asking yourself a couple of questions. What is more important to you? Is convenience the most important thing for you? If convenience is the most important thing for you, then pre-made is your go-to. Pre-made is what you're going to want to use. Now, another question would be, how educated am I on this topic? Most people that watch the channel now realize that I have a Raw Feeding 101 course at rawfeeding101.com. You can just click course up at the top on that page. But you have to have education like that to start putting these diets together yourself. So again, if you don't have that education, then you're going to want to go with a pre-made because you simply don't have the knowledge yet to put together these meals yourself, DIY style. Now what you can do is you can go with a pre-made while you're learning how to do DIY. So you go and get a pre-made like Answer's Pet Food, then you go through the Raw Feeding 101 course, and once you feel comfortable and educated, then you start doing DIY. Now another question that you have to ask yourself is, how much time do you have, right? Because if you are, crazy busy like a lot of people are in 2019, depending on when you're watching this video, if you're super crazy busy, maybe you don't have time to do stuff like I teach in the Raw Feeding 101 course, like meal prepping. You just don't have the time for it. If that's the case, again, pre-made is going to be your go-to. Now, a lot of this is making it seem like pre-made is the way to go. And for many, many people it is, especially if you're not comfortable balancing these diets by yourself, okay? But if you're the kind of person that wants to do everything yourself, you can still do a pre-made while you're learning to do DIY. So again, you go through a course like Raw Feeding 101, you read books, you find a mentor, maybe you set up a program with me, whatever it happens to be, you can still do DIY and pre-made basically at the same time. You're just going to be in a kind of a transitional period. So the point here is that there is no wrong answer about which one is better and which one is worse. It's just that pre-mades typically cost more and are significantly more convenient, while the DIY style of raw feeding is significantly, in most cases, less expensive, but not anywhere near as convenient as doing pre-mades. So you need to ask yourself, where am I right now? Do I want to take the time to learn the education part of this and do DIY? Do I just want to do pre-made? Can I afford pre-made? Do I have to do DIY because it's all that I can afford? You got to ask yourself these questions. Maybe you just stay on kibble while you go through something like the Raw Feeding 101 course and then just go straight into DIY. The point is, there is no wrong answer. Just ask these honest questions of yourself and find out where you fall along the line right now. And you can always change later. And of course, check out rawfeeding101.com for all of your raw feeding training needs. I'll see you guys next time.